What's going on, Luke here? For today's video, we're going to be talking about the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, on the weekend, they once again got beat by 50. I know the actual margin wasn't 50, but they got 50 put on them, this time by the Penrith Panthers. Now, a couple of weeks ago, it happened, and we looked at the side and we thought, yeah, it is a weakened side, so I might be able to let it off. Now, statistically, you don't get let off by that. Like, there's been no team who's had 50 put on them in the NRL and have gone on to win a premiership. So right then and there, essentially, you could have put a line through them. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, considering there were so many players out. Latrell Mitchell wasn't playing. I think Adam Reynolds wasn't playing at the time. Cameron Murray was out. There's probably a lot of other players who weren't playing. But this week, they took on the Penrith Panthers. Penrith Panthers, a lot of pressure on them, considering this is sort of their first big challenge in a long, long time. And they come out and they put 56 on them. 56 to 10, I think it was. And look, an absolute hiding for the Rabbitohs. And I think it just pretty much kills off not only this season, but for me, going forward as well. Now, you've got a lineup that is aging. I did a video on this at the start of the season, I think before a ball's even kicked. And I was talking about how the fact that Latrell Mitchell, yes, he's young. He's also a guy who is adapting to fullback. But yeah, he was a guy who is young. But the rest of the spine, Cody Walker is in his 30s. Adam Reynolds in his 30s. I think Damien Cook just about hit his 30s. And if they weren't in their 30s, they're like 29, just about to hit 30. So by the time next year comes, they would have been in their 30s. So we've got guys who sort of their game revolves around speed and agility as well in Cody Walker and Damien Cook. So as soon as they start to get older, what's the first thing that goes? Usually speed, usually agility. So a lot of their game relies on them being youthful and not being injured, not being broken down. And they're sort of approaching the age where that's probably naturally going to happen. In fact, they got both of them in there. In terms of Damien Cook, I don't know what else he offers apart from his running game, because he's a decent defender, but the running game is definitely his strong point, because his passing is pretty bad at times, let's be honest. There was a famous sort of article of Benji Marshall when he said he first came to the club and he had to give Damien Cook a spray because the passing was absolutely terrible. So it's no secret that Damien Cook's service out of dummy half isn't exactly the best, but it's more so the fact that he's always had a pretty good forward pack and could take advantage of all the space. And with all the rule changes, especially all the rule changes as of late, you would have thought that the Rabbitohs would have been primed to take advantage of all these rule changes, especially guys like Damien Cook and Cody Walker. And it hasn't happened. I can't even explain it, because everything says that the Rabbitohs should be coming out and being smashing teams, and it's not happening. Now, obviously, Latrell Mitchell, I think he's actually been really a good fullback, been suspended for quite a while this season. But just in terms of actually them going forward as a side, I don't think they're going to win this year. So let's talk about the upcoming years, because Adam Reynolds isn't going to be there. So therefore, there's a halfback spot that they need to fill. They're going to put Hawkins in. Looks like they're going to try him. I think his name's Dean Hawkins. The last time he played, they got 50 put on him. That was that game. So look, is he the future of the club? He could be, but at the same time, it's big shoes to fill for Adam Reynolds, especially the captain of your club as well. A guy who's goal kicking so good. And I think we'll see the best of Adam Reynolds at the Broncos. And he's one of the guys who, out of all of them, if you look at Adam Reynolds, Cody Walker and Damien Cook, and you're looking at retaining them, who's the one who doesn't rely on speed and agility and their pace and all that sort of stuff? It's Adam Reynolds. The best part of his game is his footy smarts, and that's never going to go. It's always going to be there, and it's probably going to get better. We saw past greats of the game, like your Cameron Smiths, that they didn't have that speed, and also when it sort of slowed down or whatever, they didn't have to rely on that. It wasn't something that they're like, oh shit, my whole game's been built up on the fact that I can pick up the ball and scoot quick and take advantage of tight defenders and such. He was able to adapt with all the rules and go through all the rule changes and all, in fact, that his body's slowing down and changing. Whereas I feel like Damien Cook, I feel like he's not going to have that luxury. His whole game plan is literally his speed. So, and same with Cody Walker as well. We've seen as of late, he's been a lot more grubby. I know he's always been fairly grubby in the sense that he's doing some dirty stuff, but I feel like as of late, it's been really ramped up a bit. We've also seen the Rabbitohs, the inability for them to even make grand finals, let alone win them, and also just the pressure moments for them. They haven't really handled that well. So Cody Walker is a big proponent of that. Same with Damien Cook. Both of them have been looked at as guys who, as soon as the finals hits, they either run out of gas or teams, they just pinpoint them and target them and work out a game plan to shut them down. So for them, it's like Rabbitohs putting all their eggs in the basket of Cody Walker and Damien Cook, and it hasn't worked with their best side. So now going forward, you're not going to have Adam Reynolds there, so you're not going to have an established halfback amongst other problems in their side. They're already getting smashed. The defense isn't great. So if they're going to chuck Benji in there or Hawkins or whatever, I don't see how this is an improvement going forward. And by the time that they have an established halfback or someone who can adequately replace Adam Reynolds, there goes Damien Cook and Cody Walker too, because they're going to be like 32, 33, trying to outpace people who are way, way younger than them and probably way quicker at this point. Add in a couple of injuries if they happen, because I can't really recall too many injuries. So yeah, I think this is definitely worrying signs for the Rabbitohs going forward, because I feel like they haven't really planned for the future. And I'll be honest, it is something that Wayne Bennett seems to do. He seems to go for that win at all costs right now. Similar to Des Hasler at the Bulldogs, and we saw how long it took to recover. We've seen how long the Broncos have been trying to recover since Wayne Bennett left. Now, obviously, fantastic coach when he's there, but he's sort of one of those coaches that he's not like, oh, well, I'm going to leave this Rabbitohs squad in a better place than I left them. He's like, if I'll win right now, and I don't give a shit what happens. So there's two ways to look at that. You can say that's a great attitude to have, because you want your team to win, but at the same time, if that means your club's going to go through shit for the next couple of years, I don't really know, because I'm at the different end of the spectrum with the Bulldogs in the sense that we've been watching them play like shit but be in salary cap holes and not really have any plan for the future because of how bad the club was left with Des Hasler. So I can see the Rabbitohs being in a similar boat. I think purely just because it's the Rabbitohs, and I think they have run quite well. I think it won't be as long in terms of them sort of being further down the ladder and then rising back up, but so many good teams going around at the moment. So I won't say so many good teams, but there's so many teams who have the potential to be good. At the moment, you've got the Storm and you've got Penrith. So there's your top two teams, and I can't see them dropping off at all. You add in sides like the Titans, who have the potential to go up, and plenty of other sides around the Eels. Raiders, if they get their shit together. Manly, absolutely killing it at the moment and have a good core of youth players there. So there's a lot of teams who have the potential to sort of rise to the top, and then you got the Rabbitohs there. So I've just named off 6 teams, not including the Rabbitohs. So try and find where the Rabbitohs fit into this. Where do they fit? I don't think they're going to be better than any of those sides going forward. Maybe this year they'll end up in the top 4. I have no problems with them making it this year. I think they've shown enough to make the top 4. But in terms of them actually putting in a dent on the actual premiership, I just don't see it happening. Honestly, I don't think any side apart from Storm and Penrith can do it. Maybe Manly at a stretch. But there's those 3. The rest of them are just a tier below, including your teams like the Eels and such. So the Rabbitohs definitely aren't the only team in this boat, but the other teams, like the Eels, they have a future. For me, the Rabbitohs don't. I think for the next couple of years, I think the Rabbitohs are really, really going to struggle. And I feel like Rabbitohs fans are going to hate to hear me say that, but I think they also know the reality of the situation as well. Yes, they're going to have Cameron Murray and Jaden Sewer and a whole bunch of great youngsters, but Dane Gagai is another one who could potentially be leaving this year. So you take out Gagai, take out Adam Reynolds. There's a lot of firepower taken out of that side, and then all of a sudden you take out those guys, and then maybe you guys like Campbell Graham, do they sort of regress? Wouldn't be the first player to be playing in these top sides, and then as soon as the team starts struggling, they end up sort of going down a level. And that was because they had guys around them lifting them up. So yeah, like I said, there's plenty of guys who look really, really good when they're playing in a top side like this Rabbitohs side has been for quite some time. But if they start regressing a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of them even fall in ability. And just signing guys like Mansour and that seemed like pretty decent on paper, but definitely hasn't worked out for them. I think he's been pretty terrible for them, to be honest with you. But Benji, I thought he was a good signing. But yeah, look, I don't understand how the rule changes haven't positively affected the Rabbitohs more than what it has. I feel like, if anything, it's actually made them regress a little bit. So yeah, like I said, I'm talking about the Rabbitohs going forward, and I don't think it's going to work well for them. But yeah, it's just more so the fact that I don't see how they actually replace Adam Reynolds and at least get better, because it's more so the fact that if not going to win this year, when do they win? Because like I said, Cody Walker, Damien Cook, both getting pretty old, probably both going to get moved on. Are they going to try and sign someone? Are they going to secretly try and move them on? I don't really know, but Rabbitohs, I think they definitely need to hit the reset button because they've had their premiership window, and unfortunately for them, they had the Roosters, they had the Storm, Penrith have come on the scene too, Raiders were around, plenty of great sides who were playing at the same time and just had just a little bit better side, and we're knocking them out at the prelims. So yeah, that was their premiership window. Didn't happen. Adam Reynolds moving on. Probably Dane Gagai as well. And unfortunately for them, I think they're gonna miss out on a premiership because I think that window is slammed shut. I don't see it happening anytime soon. And if it comes out and they win a premiership in 5 years' time, that's not the same. Like, this isn't relevant to them. This is over the next 2 or 3 years. Let's pretty much go with the whole duration of Cody Walker and Damien Cook being there, because after that, this is a new generation of the Rabbitohs. But these guys have been at the club for quite some time now, as long as Adam Reynolds. Latrell Mitchell's even been there for a couple of years now. So there's plenty of guys who've been around at the club for a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how the Rabbitohs not only rebound for the rest of this season, but how they rebound going forward. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of the Rabbitohs? Are they done in 2021? I believe so, but going forward, Is there any player they could sign? Is there any particular player they should target? Is there any sort of positions they should target? Should they be moving on Damien Cook? Should they be moving on Cody Walker? These are guys who, in the past, as soon as finals hits, they don't really perform. So do they need something different? Because it's one thing to be good during the regular season, but the finals is where it counts. So do they need someone? Could they be signing someone like a Brandon Smith or someone? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts? Anyways, that's where I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Turn on the notification bell. It's super important in terms of you actually seeing the video. You don't have to rely on the sub boxes, so go ahead and do that. Be notified immediately. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. Mr. Luke just for Facebook, but everything else is Mr. Luke and YT. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. I'll see you in the next video. See yous.